I've now put the Black 5 body back onto its chassis, and I'm going to test my new drawbar. One thing of note is that I've cut the bottom rung off the drag beam. It should be, in fact, a hole in the drag box through which the drawbar goes, but because I've made a little hook, then it's easier to fix the two together, like so. The distance is more than halved, and there's plenty of space for the tender to move around. Obviously, if you have dead scale bends, one thing you can do is to press this metal bit in a little in the middle. And that's a useful dodge, because what it means is that it will extend slightly on curves, because that distance there between that rail and the drag beam is slightly further than in the middle. So when it's coupled together dead center, it's even closer. It is adjustable, obviously tweak it, and I think that's much better than the original. But in fairness to Hornby, they are sold to go around train set curves. Unfortunately, I don't have a second Black 5 to show you side by side, but having umpteen of Hornby's wonderful A3s, then I can show you the difference in my modified drawbar, which really does close the locomotive and tender together, and the original one. You'd have to be Bob Beeman to be a fireman on 60077. Just have to be an ordinary fireman to fire 60111. Big difference, and I think well worth doing. Just to return now to the Black 5, there are a few bits I've still got to put on, and I will put on, and then you'll see the still of it completed, further weathering and so on. This is a little sort of steam lance which was used for cleaning out the smoke box. The fireman just put a little tap on that, a little tube or something, and it gave him a steam circuit to squirt out all the ash. The other bits and pieces will go on. You get an open tender with this sort of fill-in coal. Always put real coal in, powder up some real coal, glue it in with PVA, either on top of this, or if you want a bunker that's almost empty. You do get loads of other bits and pieces that brass masters supply. Riveted tender front, strapping that goes inside the rear of the tender, which I shall put on, riveted or welded. They give you the option. These little bits go on top of the buffers. They can just be glued on, and I'll do all that. But most of what's done I've sort of covered, and it is daft to do every single thing to camera. All beautifully etched in nickel silver. One final job when it's finished is always add a crew. I don't think this fireman is skipping. He's got a slacking hose, and the driver looks like he's doing a merry jig, but these are available from Masterpiece. Looking now at the Black 5 on the test track, you can already see the improvements that have been affected. The frames much closer to scale, the improved bogie wheels, the cylinder drain cocks. You can just see the motion support bracket. I've soldered that in place now. And then as we go towards the cab, there's our cheery driver waving at us. And look how close the tender and the locomotive are together. You can just see my sort of hoop drawbar, but when that's painted black, it'll be invisible. Well worth doing, and she's almost there.